Dear conference participants, dear ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the organizing committee, we greet each of you at the opening ceremony on the 5th Eastern Partnership in Infrastructures Conference. Our conference is supported by the European Union and organized by the GÉANT Association and the Institute of Information Technology as a hybrid conference. This conference is dedicated to the expansion of collaboration among the Eastern Partnership Conference countries and the acceleration of their integration into the European community. Scientists and specialists representing more than 70 countries of the world, relevant international organizations, significant foreign companies, as well as leaders of relevant state research and educational institutions of Azerbaijan attend this conference. The development of electronic education, open science platform, scientific clouds, cybersecurity of science and education, effective use of information resources collected in research and education, and other interesting and relevant topics will be discussed during these 2 days. Thus, for the introductory speech, the floor is given to the acting president of the National Academy of Sciences, academician Arif Hashimov.
Çox hörmətli konferans iştirakçıları, hörmətli qonaqlar, icazə verin ilk növbədə sizin hamınızı bugünkü tədbirdə salamlayım. Bugün biz burada Avropa məkanına inteqrasiya baxımından mühüm əhəmiyyət kəsb edən beynəlxalq bir konferansa toplaşmışıq.
This conference plays an important role in this integration. The main goal of this conference is among Eastern Partnership countries.
İleride ardıcıl ve məqsədyönlü siyaset həyata keçirilir. Əsası ümumi lider Heydər Əliyev tərəfindən qoyulan ve bu siyaset Azerbaycan Respublikası'nın prezidenti Cənab İlham Əliyev tərəfindən uğurla devam ettirilir ve milleti inkişaf mərhələsinə qədəm qoymuştur. Bu integrasiya prosesi bütün faaliyet sahələrini, o cümleden
activities including science and scientific community. Azerbaijan Republic and the European Union has wide range of cooperation that was first founded in 1996 by the cooperation agreement signed at that period. Starting from 2004, between European Union and Azerbaijan, we started a new stage of cooperation. Azerbaijan, together with European Union, within the framework of new partnership program, gets more financial support. Our country has very strong cooperation and integration with European Union countries and gets opportunity for free trade, employment, visa facilitation and other issues. From 2004, President Ilham Aliyev established State Commission on Integration with European Union Community. This commission has the following tasks: to strengthen the relations and cooperation with European Union countries on transportation, human rights, democratization, humanitarian, scientific, cultural, and other areas of cooperation. So these are the tasks that are entrusted to the Commission. In 2009, Eastern Partnership Initiative was put forward by this partner. in Belarus and Moldova were included to Eastern Partnership to strengthen bilateral and multilateral relations between these countries. Azerbaijan is the most active participant of Eastern Partnership program. Azerbaijan within this program has very close relations with EU countries. We implement several very important projects jointly, and we already have achievements here. Some of these achievements directly and closely relate to science and education. We see the rising curve of our relations in these areas. This will play a very important role in our further integration to European community, and European network, the scientific network, played important role in this cooperation. EaPConnect, Eastern Partnership Program, covers and brings together research and scientific educational communities of Eastern Partnership countries, and serves to bring equal opportunities for the integration. European Center also has a very close cooperation in strengthening of our relations. In Institute of Physics, we play important, we have established the center for this cooperation like a focus point. This will play important role for the integration of Azerbaijan scientific community to world community, and will play important role in implementation of joint projects with CENT. I also would like to say that integration with European Nuclear Center, European Educational Network implements this cooperation. In Azerbaijan National Science Institute, and Azerbaijan Physics Institute. And afterwards, Azerbaijan National Nuclear Research Center signed Memorandum of Understanding with EU financed Horizon 2020 innovation programs, and our country actively participated in these programs. Up to now, Azerbaijan scientists on physics, astronomy, energy, information technologies, climate change, ecology, and on other topics implemented joint research activities. In order to integrate Azerbaijan science and education to European community, it's very important to establish a unified ecosystem in the country and to develop digitalization, as well as it will help to further strengthen electronic science and electronic education in the country. Several state programs have been adopted, and achievements were done within a short period of time in the area. Electronic development, electronic infrastructure, and e-government achievements are clearly seen in different world reports, and every year our position is improving even more. Dear conference participants, as a result of the fourth industrial revolution happening worldwide, science and education takes a next step in its development. Azerbaijan as well widely tries to apply and takes necessary steps to apply the achievements of this industrial development in our country as well. From integrational standpoint to European community, use of these opportunities will greatly help us. We also have to consider that science and education development will be closely connected to artificial intelligence, to digitalization, IT development, Internet of Objects, virtual centers, hubs, and others. From this standpoint, by using open science resources, we will see efficiency, improved efficiency of electronic education, of scientific research, use of new platforms, technologies that will further boost online presence of teachers, scientists, researchers, etc. At the same time, new concepts like open science and open cloud will be further discussed during this event. And cybersecurity in science and education, databases that is collected in this area will also be the topic of discussions. According to the information that I received during this 2 days conference, over 50 countries of the world and of Europe specifically are represented in today's conference, which once again shows great interest on this integration. I think this conference will play an important role for further joint projects, researches between Azerbaijan and international scientists, and will help to achieve more cooperation opportunities. This type of conference once again shows huge trust by European community, European Union to Azerbaijan science and education. I would like to thank organizational committee and all the members for the high level of conference organization. Wishing you success and declaring the conference open. Thank you very much for your attention.
Now, the floor is given to Erik Huizer, CEO, GÉANT.
Good morning, everyone. I hope my slide, yes, everything works. I'm so happy that finally we can have this conference. We planned this for a long time, but then the pandemic happened, and then, of course, we had to postpone it. I'm very happy that we're here now. Can you also get me a hand microphone? I'm delighted to see a room full of people interested in this, and as the president of the Academy of Sciences said, this is an important conference, and we at GÉANT truly believe that we getting there to make big steps to have the Eastern Partnership projects join in with the rest of Europe in terms of e-infrastructure. So let me explain first what is GÉANT. GÉANT is a non-profit organization, an association of all research networks in Europe, one per country. And we have in total 40 members, and we coordinate large European projects to build the e-infrastructure for research and education in Europe. We operate a network, and we manage a portfolio of services, all called EDU something, EDU Rome, EDU GÉANT, etc. And we organize, and I think that's really important, we organize community events like this one to bring people together so that they can collaborate, understand, and build trust. Because the e-infrastructure community is not as much built on money It shows the membership of GÉANT. As you can see, we cover the whole of Europe, except for Bosnia and Herzegovina, but we're working on that. Together, we support with the national research and education networks, like AzScienceNet here in Azerbaijan, we support in total 10,000 institutes and 50 million users. We run an enormous amount of European projects to develop the network, to develop services, to help countries join in this European e-infrastructure, to make sure that researchers and educators can work better together. And why do we do that? That's because we believe that the world is facing many really big problems. Climate change, to name one of them, but there's more problems. Shortage of energy, shortage of material, aging population. And the only way we can solve that is if all researchers, all brilliant minds in the world work together and collaborate to help resolve these problems. And that means every country needs to contribute, every country. And that's why we believe we need to supply the network and the services. We also connect Europe with the rest of the world. We have connections to Africa, Asia, America, Latin America, Australia, everywhere in the world, to make sure, again, that all the researchers can work together, collaborate, and come up with solutions for our main problems. These are the services that we run. We run network services, network support, security services, very important one, trust and identity services, and of course, cloud services and real-time communication services. And I think that here in Azerbaijan, you now have the connectivity, you have the network service from GÉANT, but a lot of work needs to be done to make sure that all the other services are also available for researchers and students and educators. This is the network that we built with the EaPConnect program all the way into Baku, as you can see. So Baku is connected, and AzScienceNet is connected to the GÉANT network. And this is the rest of the network. As you can see, we connect the whole of Europe. So why do you need a network like GÉANT? Why can't you use a commercial network? Why do you need a special research and education network that consists of all the national networks together and a European overlay network? Well, I can show that in this graph. The upper graph shows you commercial traffic, typical commercial traffic. And you can easily recognize in the graph that you have a day pattern, right? When it's day, the usage is high. In the night, it goes down. And you can also see 5 working days and then 2 weekend days. And the traffic goes down. Commercial networks built on that pattern. They know that pattern and they use that for the dimension of their network. The bottom graph shows you typical research data, and it has no pattern. There is no pattern. And if you look at the scale, the upper one goes up to roughly 15 gigabits per second. The bottom one goes to 1 terabit per second. So the scale of the traffic is different, the pattern is different, and this is why you need a dedicated network for research and education. You cannot have it that you run a very expensive experiment between Azerbaijan and CERN in Geneva, for example, and that your traffic will be disturbed by people watching cat videos online. One of the important services we do there is EdChrome. What but we have more important services, all starting with Edu, and they're all based on a shared federated identity system. And I think this is even more important than the physical network. With this identity system, based on your local identity of your Azerbaijani university, you can access services all over the world. You can access Wi-Fi in other institutes if, as a researcher, you are visiting another university. You can use Erasmus Plus online as a student because of this system. National research and education networks are based on sharing. So if one network builds new services, adds new institutes, all the research and education networks in Europe profit. Together we grow bigger. Whatever you put in nationally multiplies because other networks do the same. So your investment is local, but the benefit is global. And I think that's very important to realize about this way that we work together for providing e-infrastructure. It delivers and adds value to all entrants if you invest here locally in Azerbaijan. Therefore, entrants gave a very good return on investment, in my view. And GÉANT is to make sure that they're all connected and that they're all able to share. So, I have a couple of recommendations, and unfortunately this is not the last version of my slides because I had a slide with that, so I'll try and do it from memory. I would say I have 4 recommendations for Azerbaijan. The first one is to make sure that research and education networking in Azerbaijan is harmonized. It's now dispersed over 2, maybe even 3 different suppliers. I don't think that's very efficient in working together with the rest of Europe. The second recommendation is to make sure that you invest in your national infrastructure. It is important. All sciences are moving towards data. So invest, make sure they are connected, make sure they have access to services. The third point I would like to make is that you need to make sure that the infrastructure is well connected to the rest of the world, and that means that you need to take care of when the EaPConnect project stops, that you have a stable, sustainable NRAN that can still be part of that global community. And now I'm racking my brain for the fourth recommendation. Paul, do you have the slide set for me? Thank you. And, oh yes, of course. Currently, Azerbaijan is connected in the network to GÉANT, but you're not using all the services. And if you invest, you can use all the services. That would be my fourth recommendation. Thank you very much. Thanks.
Now, the floor is given to Firudin Gurbanov, Deputy Minister of Science and Education, Azerbaijan.
Hörmətli konferans iştirakçıları, hər birinizi elm və təhsil.
Participants, I would like to welcome all of you on behalf of the Minister of Science and Education. I would like to express my deepest gratitude to Erik for a very interesting and for a very informative presentation. If we look at the topic of today's conference, we can clearly see how significant and important topic it is, because this is related to the ICT, which has a very vital role in the world. We can explain the importance by listing several factors, but the most important one is that information volume increases very rapidly throughout the world, and information inflow is compared with tsunami. In one of the research, we can see that in the last 20 years, the volume of the data in comparison with the previous years, in the last 20 years, the volume of the data has seen triple increase, and it shows that this data transformation into the digital format is very vital, and it's called digitalization. And presently, 4,500,000,000 people has access to internet, and half of them has Facebook accounts. And today in the world, the number of the devices that has integrated access is over 35 billion, and it is 5 times more than the number of the population worldwide. And this process will increase. In 2025, the number of the devices with internet access will reach 75 billion. And in these technologies in their respective countries, and along with the development of these technologies, they need to also focus on cyber security, because cyber crimes rate also goes up, and the states investing heavily to prevent cyber attacks. I would also like to share another research findings. In 2025, will invest $10.5 trillion in cybersecurity. Considering all these factors, of course, every state, in order to protect their future, they will have to focus on the development of ICT technologies. And of course, it affects all the fields, including the science and education. And we need to focus on development of ICT in science and education fields. In our country, in the fields of education, we focus on development of the ICT. Even though after Azerbaijan gained its independence, faced a lot of challenges, and we did not have many capabilities to develop ICT rapidly. In 1993, the budget of the country was only 1.3 billion. And of course, if we consider that the territories were under the occupation, especially 20%, and we faced 2 million of the refugees and IDPs, but our country was able to still develop the ICT technologies. In the education, in the secondary schools, over 91% of the schools have internet access, but in 2015, only 47% of the schools had internet access. In the early 2000s, 1,600 students had only one computer, and we were developing our education. So now the ratio is 18:1. And the Minister of Science and Education has a target within the next 2 years to reach 6:1 ratio, and it will enable us to develop our e-education system to meet international standards. And in today's presentation, together with Eastern Partnership countries and with the EU partners, we've talked about these processes. As we know, this process was launched in 2009, and we have 6 East Partnership countries, and we are one of them. And during this period, the European Union has implemented many projects, and they mainly focus on energy resources and economy. And we have a lot of achievements in these fields between EU and Azerbaijan, and you're probably aware about them. But one of the main directions within this Eastern Partnership program is the support of the EU in the fields of science and education to our country. And we've implemented many joint projects in Erasmus program, Tempus program, which allowed to develop their education, and we've had a lot of achievements in the higher education, and the students and teachers can use this academic mobility very easily. And this conference allows us together with educational facilities and scientific facilities to benefit from this platform and to integrate into the European platform. If I'm not mistaken, 21 higher education facilities have the opportunity to use of this platform, and the highest electronic resources basis belongs to GÉANT, and therefore it is very important for us to be able to use this platform, and other higher education facilities will be able to utilize their this platform. And we have over 51 higher education facilities, and many institutions have been transformed under the Minister of Science and Education, and we have a lot of capabilities now. And in order to ensure their access to the European platform of GÉANT will open up a lot of doors for us. I would like to thank the organizers and wish good luck to the conference. Thank you very much.
The floor is given to Samir Mammadov, Deputy Minister of Digital Development and Transport, Azerbaijan.
I sincerely welcome everyone at the 5th Eastern Partnership Infrastructure Conference. I would like to highlight that today's event is in line with the implementation of socio-economic development strategy for 22-26 of the Republic of Azerbaijan, recently approved by the presidential decree. The strategy envisions the realization of 5 main national priorities in the forthcoming years, which are a steadily growing competitive economy, a dynamic, inclusive society based on social justice, areas of modern innovation and competitive human capital, the great return to the territories liberated from occupation, and a clean environment and country of green growth. Digital transformation, as you can see, undeniably plays an immense role and is highly correlated across all aforementioned priorities. Moving forward towards the vision of digital Azerbaijan, the government's goals are to improve the services delivery to its citizens, to extend the benefits of digital transformation to businesses, to increase and to enhance efficiency of the government administration. In order to digitally transform Azerbaijan, we need to develop infrastructure, improve education, and create innovative and digital ecosystem of the country. To support the development of infrastructure, we decided to provide 100% high-speed broadband connectivity across the country. Our goal is to make sure every family will be able to connect to the fastest and latest available telecommunication technology that will undeniably aid Azerbaijan in its goal to become an innovation hub. To date, we have already covered around 600,000 households with fiber optic connectivity and planning to increase this number up to 800,000 by the end of this year. We plan to complete the project by the end of 2024 with the 100% coverage of the country. Furthermore, based on presidential decree, we are currently transferring government institutions to a cloud-based system. Baku and Yevlav data centers of Azin Telecom are tier-free certified, and it should be also noted that currently the information systems of more than 70 state institutions are partially or fully located in the data centers of Azin Telecom. Additionally, through our CIMA project, we have made modern electronic signature accessible to society via biometric authentication. The number of downloads of CIMA software on mobile devices has already exceeded 50,000. Currently, integration with 12 state and private institutions has been completed, and integration with more than 70 institutions is in progress. Along with domestic digitalization reforms, Azerbaijan is taking part in strategic trans-regional digital mega-projects. One of those projects is a digital Silkway. The goal of the initiative is to construct a modern fiber optic network connecting Europe through Eastern European partners, Georgia and Azerbaijan, to Central and South Asian markets. As we know, the Silkway Road passes from China and India through Central Asia and going through the territory of Azerbaijan. The digital Silkway will build the region's digital ecosystem in accordance with the world's most advanced standards and improve access to various digital services for more than 1.8 billion people living in the associated countries. The project will which falls within the wider framework of Azerbaijan Digital Hub program, envisage the construction of fiber optic cables between Azerbaijan and Central Asia via the Caspian Sea. Given the fact that the hub's location is very important, and since road through Azerbaijan is the shortest between Europe and Asia, it will have a lot of advantages for our future partners. It is an eminent fact that when it comes to data transit, every millisecond is crucial. Development of human capital remains as the most important goal for any digital government. Therefore, right after establishment of Innovation and Digital Development Agency within our ministry, we provided scholarships for more than 800 people to develop countries' ICT capacity through our TechNest platform. More than 200 people already found new jobs after joining the platform, and next year we're aiming to increase the number of scholarships up to 2,000. Furthermore, the number of programs that will be taught in the academic year of 2022 and 2023 has been expanded from 35 to more than 50, including cybersecurity, big data, business analytics, Python, Java, 3D design, and others. And last but not least, in parallel with the development of national ICT human capacity, and in order to ensure competitiveness of the country, it is important to attract foreign tech companies and startups to Azerbaijan. But as you know, this is not an easy process, since there is a serious competition between countries in the field. For this purpose, a package of special incentives is being created with the support of colleagues from other state institutions. And furthermore, steps are being taken to improve the innovation ecosystem of the country. It is envisaged to create connections between various investors and startups to finance startup projects through VC funds and to transfer knowledge to technology to research and education institutions. We are aiming to not only build local ecosystem, but also connect with neighboring ecosystems. We strongly believe that networking is one of the key elements of innovation ecosystem development. I wish good luck to the conference, and thank you for your attention.
Floor is given to Viktor Baykov, Head of Cooperation Section, Delegation of the European Union to Azerbaijan.
Thank you. On behalf of Ambassador Mikhalko, who could not be here with us today, I'd like to congratulate, first of all, Erik and Irina for finally managing to organize the conference after a year or two of delay. I would also like to thank Azerbaijan and thank you, deputy ministers, thank you, authorities, for being here. Thank Azerbaijan for hosting it. We, from the European Union delegation and also from the EU headquarters in Brussels, are happy to support this initiative. I'd like to highlight that the EaPConnect is a unique program which improves the connectivity of research and educational institutions in Azerbaijan and in the Eastern Partnership region and beyond. With the ambassador, we always like to say that between the EU and Azerbaijan, there exists a strong, and here the emphasis is always on the word strong partnership, which we would like to develop further. And this network, the GÉANT network, is one of the examples of how you can bring together 50 million users in Europe and many more across the globe. Azerbaijan, of course, is strategically positioned. You know that connectivity, digitalization are one of the priorities of the EU work with Azerbaijan. Strategically positioned as a hub between Europe, Central Asia, and the Middle East. Data traffic, but not only, is successfully managed by the Azerbaijan Science Academy, and this has increased so many-fold during the phase of the project. The EaPConnect has a key role to play to unlock the opportunities of the digital transformation by establishing resilient hubs and networks and acting as a stimulus for developing further the digital economy. This is fully in line for us in the EU and in particular in the EU delegation. It is fully in line with our work in implementing something new since last year, since the summer of 2021. The European Commission adopted the so-called Economic and Investment Plan. And this is a qualitative and quantitative leap in our work with Eastern Partnership countries, both in terms of volumes of assistance, but also in terms of the modality of this assistance. And here, I would like to just resound the words of Deputy Minister Mammadov. We are indeed helping support, and this falls truly in line with the implementation of the Economic and Investment Plan, in particular the flagship on digitalization, the flagship project on digitalization, where the European Union, together with international financial institutions and AzTelecom, which operates under your ministry's auspices, negotiating a sizable loan with a grant, of course, grant component, a guarantee component from the EU fund, to roll out fast-speed broadband internet across the regions of Azerbaijan, i.e. beyond Baku, which is currently the case. I hope that we'll be able to sign this loan by the end of this year and have this implementation, as you, Deputy Minister, mentioned, completed by the end of 2024. Thank you so much to Azerbaijan AzScienceNet for organizing this event, for hosting guests from the Eastern Partnership countries. I wish you all success, and again, apologies from the Ambassador Mikhalko, who couldn't be here with us, but he wanted to convey his regards. Chok Sahol.
Floor is given to Thibault, Charlet, Program Manager, Digital and Economic Cooperation with Eastern Partnership countries.
Dear President of the National Academy of Science, dear Deputy Ministers, dear participants, it's a real honor for me to be here today because I'm the program manager for the EaPConnect program in the European Commission in DG NEAR, and I am also the program manager of the wider EU for Digital initiative. This is the initiative of the European Commission to support the digital transformation in the countries of the Eastern Partnership. So the 5 countries that you know, the Azerbaijan, Armenia, Georgia, Moldova, and Ukraine. And I would like to thank again the participants for joining this event, and in particular the Ukrainian participants and speakers. And on this occasion, I would like to recall that the European Commission stands in full solidarity with Ukraine and its people, and we condemn the brutal and unjustified war of aggression launched by the President Putin. Now, if you allow me, I would like to say a few words on the program EaPConnect and how it fits into our broader digitalization agenda that we have jointly agreed with the Eastern Partnership countries and with the EU member states. The EaPConnect program is the oldest program of our EU for Digital initiative, and it is the most successful when it comes to bridging the digital divide between the Eastern Partnership and the EU member states. We have achieved a lot of tangible results by connecting more than 700,000 users in the Eastern Partnership region to the GÉANT backbone network in Europe. And this is not only key for building a brighter future together, but also for planting the seeds for a modern and resilient economy and to unlock the potential of the digital transformation. And in that sense, what we are doing with EaPConnect totally fits into the objectives that we have jointly set in December 2021 in the renewed agenda for the Eastern Partnership region. This agenda, which is underpinned by an ambitious economic and investment plan to make it happen, this agenda identifies the digital transformation as one of the 5 long-term priorities of the region. And this is a horizontal priority because we know that the digital transformation is multifaceted, and by working and investing further in digital infrastructure, in digital skills, we can enable growth in all segments of the economy. So again, with EaPConnect, we are very happy to support this process because the program, and this was already presented in the introduction, the program brings together 2 essential components of the digital transformation: the infrastructure and the people. When it comes to the infrastructure, you know that this is the first building block of the digital transformation. It is not only key for addressing today's complex challenges, such as mitigating climate change or managing health crisis. It is also, such as water, electricity, roads, a very critical part of very critical segments of a country's infrastructure. And I think in the context of the Russian war of aggression against Ukraine, we have witnessed the importance of diversifying the digital infrastructure in the region, and this is a matter of digital sovereignty. And with the economic and investment plan, we have this target to deploy broadband in the region to make sure that at least 80% of the Eastern Partnership citizens can benefit from affordable, secure, high-speed connectivity. And again, I'm very glad that with GÉANT and EaPConnect, we have managed to bring down the connectivity prices for research and education institutions by at least 80% in the South Caucasus region and a bit more than 70% in the rest of the Eastern Partnership. The second part of our work is to connect the people. And this is the second building block of the digital transformation. With EaPConnect, we provide these essential services that connect the people all together to use and capitalize on the digital infrastructure. And this resonates again with one of our key targets in the Economic Investment Plan and the flagship initiatives, which is to digitally empower the Eastern Partnership citizens, at least 1 million of them, so that they can unlock themselves the potential of the digital transformation. And we know that it starts in school. It starts with education, and we are very glad to see that many of the Eastern Partnership countries have integrated digital skills as a component of their education strategies. This is a prerequisite to attract more investment in the region. If we work on the demand side and the supply side, we can then enable digital economy to grow. And this leads me to my final point. If we want to achieve a resilient digital transformation, we also need to build unified ecosystems. We need to bring at the same table the public sector, the private sector, and the academia to make sure that innovation flows through all the segments of the society and of the economy. And I'm extremely glad that today, with our presentations on open science, open innovation, we will see some of the applications that these ecosystems can develop. This will also benefit the startup ecosystem in the region and the diversification of the economy. This is one, I think, of the priorities also of Azerbaijan, to make sure that the economic sector can bring more added value to the society. So, in conclusion, let me summarize the 3 main points. EaPConnect plays a key role to integrate research and education institutions in the Eastern Partnership to the EU backbone. This is, for us, extremely important to make sure that these institutions are not left aside from the digital transformation. But furthermore, we also work to connect the people by fostering the uptake of digital skills and digital solutions. And to ensure the sustainability of our work, we need to build unified innovation ecosystems, bringing together the public and the private sector. So to do so, I'm very glad that the thematic of today's event is to build connections, and that we will learn about the experience of the EU member states, but also of the national research and education networks from over the world. And I think this is by building such type of cooperation that we can work together our objective of developing modern, resilient economies and societies in the digital decade. So thank you very much again for your attention, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the event.
The floor is given to Irina Matthews, EaPEC Project Manager, GÉANT UK.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. And it's a happy occasion indeed to be here today in the beautiful city of Baku and at the opening plenary of the EaPEC 22 conference. The conference, which is part of the many activities carried out by the EaPEConnect project, As you've learned today, it's the EU-funded project, and that's why it's very fitting to have people with us today representing the EC delegation, Azerbaijan, and my esteemed colleague Thibault, the program manager for EaPConnect. And actually, the project name is really linked to the conference theme, Building Connections. Okay, let me just get used to this equipment. I'm here to represent, I'm program manager for EaPConnect, and I would like to share with you some information about the project itself. The project can be described in many ways. It can be described as a combination of facts and figures, as you can see on the screen in front of you. And you can see that AzScienceNet, the National Research and Education Network of Azerbaijan, is participating and actively contributing partner in the project alongside other 4 countries of EaP region. The most important thing about the project is delivers resources to deliver very important outcomes. And these outcomes are focused around the expansion of network infrastructure to ensure that the scientific exchange and knowledge dissemination can be scaled up. And in this way, we are making national research and education networks and communities stronger to enable them to collaborate more effectively at the national, regional, and international level. We started talking, the first objective here is to expand the network infrastructure. And why is that important? It is important because it is the foundation that ensures sustainable growth. And to prove the point, I would like to share with you some just very few facts about the project outcomes and achievements. Here you can see the evolution of the connectivity development throughout the years of EaPConnect project. It had a very modest beginning, started with just basic technical upgrades on existing networks. And through the different developmental stages, it now reached the level when we are supporting the implementation of much higher level technological connectivity, and also on the basis, contractual basis, that ensures that it remains robust and financially sustainable, affordable through a number of years. The connectivity itself does not have an impact. Yeah, it's the services, the way how connectivity is used is important. Yeah, and the impact, the growth is not just in the number of networks that are in place, but the number of users. And across the countries, the partners in the EaPConnect project, you can see the growth. Yeah, we're connecting 700,000 people in 300 institutions across the EaP region. This is kind of zooming out, but zooming in, what happens in Azerbaijan? The implementation of higher level connectivity has led to increase in data traffic. Data traffic increased 6-fold throughout the years of the project and almost doubled in the past 2 years. It's not just a figure, because behind each figure there are people who use the network. And people are students, lecturers, professors, scientists, researchers. So more and more people make use of the network, and this is what matters. And in terms of growth, it resulted in the fact that the users of AzScienceNet in Azerbaijan now constitute 90% of the market of research and education institutions and 40% of higher institutions. So it's a huge development, but you can see there's still room for development, for the growth, and that's important. Has it been easy, or is it easy? No, and no. Yeah, it has not been easy. There are a lot of challenges at present and ahead, but there is one factor that ensures success. And you can see it here represented in a visual form. And the factor of success is the connections between elements that are critically important to ensure that we develop, we bring, we implement, we improve. And as you can see, it's a very tightly knit structure. It's a very tightly knit ecosystem. Each element has a critical value in it. And the EaPConnect project has been working to ensure that this alignment and connectivity exists and we enable each other's growth. This is a system of enablers, yeah? And without it, no matter how big the investment is, it will not deliver. So going back to the theme of conference, building connections, these connections are important as well. Connectivity is important, human networks important, but these connections between the enablers of progress and development is very important too. And I would like to wrap it up and just maybe refer to what recommendations that Erik Huizer made in his speech, that AzScienceNet has done great work, right? There's no doubt about that. It's been possible because these connections exist, but these connections need to grow. The network will need support now and in the future. Yeah? The network will need support beyond the EaPConnect project. And we hope that conference today will not achieve everything in one day, but we hope that the conference which happens today and tomorrow will help us to grow and strengthen critically important connections. Thank you so much indeed, and I'm ready to hand over to the next speaker.
The floor is given to Rasim Alguliyev, Vice President of the National Academy of Sciences of Azerbaijan.
Welcome, dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, dear participants. With your permission, I would like to share some facts with you, and these facts are closely related to today's conference. In 2009, Azerbaijan Republic officially joined Eastern Partnership Initiative, and in 2010, with the suggestion of the UNESCO Azerbaijan Commission, Azerbaijan Academy of Sciences joined GÉANT network in 2010. Since that period, we are in close contact with European Union partners, and we implement different joint initiatives. In 2015, European Commission within EaPConnect project, in order to develop this connectivity between 6 countries, established this EaPConnect, and of course it was fully financed by EU, and the amount was 13.8 million euro. 95% was financed by European Union, 5% was contributed by participating countries. Since 2015, Azerbaijan was within this project, was part of this project, and in Azerbaijan we implemented different activities in these regards. For example, during the last 7 years period within this project, AzScienceNet structure, the whole infrastructure, the whole servers and management infrastructure was fully renewed and updated. Also within this project, previously we had 1 gigabit per second and then to 3 gigabit per second, and without any limits. The more we can use, the more internet traffic would be received by us. Today in Azerbaijan, starting during the last 2 years, 3 gigabit per second speed is received by us within the GÉANT network. You know that this is very high speed, and 1/3 of this is consumed by the institutes of previous infrastructures of Azerbaijan National Academy of Sciences, and the remaining one by Ministry of Education and other educational institutes are using these resources. So the goal of these resources is not only to obtain internet traffic, because GÉANT network has different services, starting from students, from school children, up to professors. Everyone can benefit from these services, and that's why, as it was mentioned, this network has over 50 million of users, and we are very happy to be the member. Azerbaijan Science and Educational Society is part of this large network. Though we are not using the capacity in full, but still we are there, we are in the center. And as I said, the hardware, infrastructure, equipment, organization of conferences, financial support to our professors visit foreign conferences, AzScienceNet, training of technologies, cyber security, and different type of measures are being implemented with the support of GÉANT and EaPConnect. Since we are responsible for the implementation of these activities, we did our own analysis, and we checked whether we are benefiting and to what extent we are benefiting of these projects. So these figures that I want to share with you. Today, Azerbaijan scientific research institutes, only 33% of them join this network. The remainings are not covered by this network. Among higher education, we have of the 50 universities and institutes, only 42%, less than half of these institutes, use the potential of this network. So one of the goals of this conference is to increase awareness and to invite the heads, those who are responsible from scientific educational community of Azerbaijan, to draw their attention to this issue, because this is our direction of further development. Integration to Europe goes through these bridges, and that's why this is our challenge. We have to be a bit active in this direction. Secondly, I see representatives of different European Union institutes, European Union Commission, European Union delegation, GÉANT team, etc. So, on behalf of Azerbaijan team, I want to draw the attention to one thing. We have statistics, we have data on hand to analyze, and we see that yes, of course, it's very important to have access to internet through Europe. It's very important. Thank you very much for this. But as a result of the activity of the government, we don't have that much problem related to internet, because from small to elderly people, everyone has internet availability. Today, this is achievement of Azerbaijan. In Azerbaijan, we are building high technology societies. And some of the aspects can be even example to other countries. But what we are mostly interested in is that different digital differences exist between European Union and Azerbaijan. In order to overcome these gaps, yes, we had communication problems like 5-10 years ago. We had these problems, and we used different problems. For example, there were different projects that we benefited from them. Today, we are space country in Azerbaijan. We have satellite in the space. In Azerbaijan, in all over the country, you don't have a spot that doesn't have internet access or availability. So our scientists can be drawn with internet, interesting content on the internet that can be used for commercial purposes, that can be used for research purposes, where we don't have enough access to. So on behalf of Azerbaijan scientific educational community, I would like to ask our guests. We would like our Azerbaijan scientists, professors, researchers, students to have access to this quality content of European Union. The universities of European Union have access to certain sources, resources. We also would like to have access to them as well. For example, we have certain limitation in access to different literature, or, for example, in the science access, Elsevier, Springer, PubMed, and other information sources are somehow limited for us, and that's why with the help of Eastern Partnership programs, to include it as priority to the projects, because some Eastern Partnership countries are using it differently, some more, some less. For Azerbaijan, as an authoritative person, I can say that access to distant educational technologies, infrastructure, program software, training, it's another direction of cooperation that we can focus upon. For example, European universities has very good electronic libraries, and Azerbaijan professors and researchers may have access to those libraries, and that's why, of course, the communication, trustful, speedily communication is very important. We understand it for scientific integration, for quality cooperation, for research, etc. We should have additional access to these resources. So the most important is access to the content, to articles, to quality books, etc., so that Azerbaijan could be part of the whole global challenge. Of course, we have a need for the textbooks. Azerbaijan professors need to get access to this data. You know that during COVID, Zoom and other programs were widely used. We are very satisfied with this. But GÉANT has these opportunities within the project completely free of charge, may give it to your use. So there is no need to spend money on Zoom. I'm not talking about Zoom. Yes, of course you can use it, but Azerbaijan, starting from schools up to higher universities and research universities, may have this access completely free of charge. And that's why I want to draw attention to these specific issues. And from the other side, you know that up to 2030, European Union accepted digital strategy, and within this strategy, very important projects are being implemented that we follow very closely on different directions: education, science, realities of force, industrial revolution, so on different areas. Digital sovereignty, etc. So very important projects are being implemented, and our wish is, of course, we have different relations with Europe, but on this specific area, on education and science, we want to be very closely incorporated to electronic science, on education, etc., to have online distant access to all the resources. So hopefully, it would be very important for us if we use all this potential to the maximum. And as deputy ministers mentioned, these are realities that we are with. So there are different programs adopted by the president, reforms are going on. It all requires new type of approach, because within this project, starting from secondary school, the whole educational process should be integrated to the global networks. It includes also different type of digital infrastructure in the country. There are certain identifiers, by giving them to different scientists, they can freely use networks and have access to different content, also be part of different competitions, etc. And that's why this is the overall umbrella that we want to fully use this potential. GÉANT implements important work, and Azerbaijan participants should be part of these processes at every stage. And Of course, very important topics will be discussed during these 2 days. Once again, I want to thank GÉANT, European Commission, European Union delegation, and the project responsible people. Thank you very much for the opportunity you created for us.
The opening ceremony of the conference is over. After the coffee break. Thank you very much.